and welcome back to another installment to Fodder. And in this video, we are talking about raid battles, specifically the Sinoceratops Prime battle. Now, I know that version 2.0 has just gone live, but I want to give you guys the latest information that I have so that you guys can better compete in this raid boss. But before I jump into that, I do want to let you know you can catch me on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays doing live arena battles. But now with the addition of raid bosses, I'm definitely going to look to add those into what we do. And I wouldn't be surprised if for at least this week, I don't go live every single day because there are new raid bosses Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which leads into Friday tournament battles. And just so you know, whenever I do actually go live on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. As always, links are down in the description below. All right, so now that all of that is out of the way, let's talk about raid battles, how to battle, and specifically how to defeat the Sinoceratops Prime raid boss. The very first thing that you're going to notice is you can't miss the raid bosses. They are absolutely huge on the map. This is going to be a video, but this right here is exactly what it'll look like on your screen. Definitely much larger. If you look, you can see an Apatosaurus back there in the background, and it is just completely dwarfed by comparison. And in case you were wondering how plentiful these are going to be on the map, as I do a quick spin around, you can see that there are probably 6 or 7 different options to choose from. Whenever you do want to engage with one, it still has to be within your little radius of a circle of what you can reach, but you don't get reduced awards for being further away. Not like strike tower. Well, it's like strike towers, where strike towers you still get the same reward, but if you're trying to spin the supply drops, you'll get a less reward. It's not like that. It's more like the strike towers. Once you decide you are going to engage with a raid boss, you are going to see what it is exactly that you are getting into. On the screen, you will see Sinoceratops boss. It tells you the level. It is a level 14 creature. Now, this particular raid is just a solo raid. If there are minions, which are going to be other creatures that are joining the boss, they will be flanked to either side. The screen is also going to show you what your reward is. You will see that for this one, you have one Sinoceratops boss incubator available. And that is going to be how all of these raid bosses are going to be. Your first incubator is going to be the big one. After that, you're going to get what's called a minion incubator. By tapping or holding on the Sinoceratops card, you're going to see the stats of this particular creature. So in this example here, you can see that for round 1 of 2, Sinoceratops is going to have 9,744 health, an attack stat of 668 with a speed of 111, 25% armor, and a 5% crit. You're also going to see the different move sets that are available to this particular boss, as well as resistances, if any. Just like with other incubators, you can see what the contents of your incubator are potentially going to be before you even do battle. In this particular situation, you can see that you're going to get almost 1,100 DNA total, with 50 Sinoceratops DNA being guaranteed and 86 rare DNA being guaranteed. Digging a little bit deeper in, you're going to see that the 50 DNA for the epic Sinoceratops, you're going to get that 100%, but that is the minimum amount that you can get. Moving down to the 3 different rares in this particular strike tower, you can see Carnotaurus, was that Gorgosaurus, and Notosaurus, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and you have a third of a chance to get any of those, and you're going to get a minimum of 86. Now you can see you get almost 1,100 out of this, and if I'm doing some quick math, I'd say 136 of it is guaranteed as a minimum. So you're going to get significantly more than that overall. Each different raid boss is going to have its own set of rules. In this particular case, you're going to have your creatures capped at level 15. What that means is all creatures above level 15 will have their stats reduced down to being level 15 for this particular raid. Additionally, you are going to have stat boost restrictions in this particular situation. All creatures with a stat boost level higher than the creature's level cap will have their stats adjusted to meet the level restriction for the duration of the raid battle. This particular cap is at 5 each. And where this is really going to come into play is if you are trying to level up specific creatures for raid battles, you're going to have to be very smart and very strategic about how you allocate boost into it, especially if it's a creature that you plan on using in the battle arena as well. Now, if you are starting off the raid lobby, which is what you see here, you have a couple of different options. Your first option is going to be to leave the lobby as public or set it to private. If it is public, that means those around you can join the lobby as well. If you set it to private, then only people who are invited by you will be able to see this lobby. Since there is no chance of anybody seeing this around me, I just went ahead and left this public, as I invited a couple of different people to join me in the raid battles. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the plus sign, then you're going to go into your friends list or your alliance list and select who it is that you want to invite into your battle. You can see the little screen underneath. It's going to tell you what exactly is happening, and then you're going to go in and select the creature that you want to use for your specific creature. Now you only get one. As you can see, when a teammate joins, they're going to have the option to pick their creature as well. In this particular situation, because Sinoceratops is a resilient creature, we decided to go with a build of a fierce, which is baryonyx, and another fierce, which is allogen 2, and we are going to combine that with a healer, Edmontoguanodon. Once all the members of your party have picked their characters, you are going to hit the fight and then be headed into the battle arena to take on the boss. Now, this is really cool and there's a lot happening, so I'm going to kind of break this down a little bit. The first screen that you saw there shows everybody that is on your team faced off against everybody that's on the opponent's team. In this particular situation, we just have the one opponent, but that's not always going to be the case. As you saw in the teaser video, sometimes the bosses will have minions on the side, and so you will see all of them coming at you as well. If we take a quick look at the screen that you see here, you will see that the Sinoceratops is level 14, and the 1 of 2 indicates which round it is that you are in. Now remember, you are going to have to knock out the raid boss in 2 rounds. Minions do not matter. You can win a raid and not take out the minions. Keep that in mind because that could come into play later on when we have other raid bosses. The final thing to notice here is the HP of Sinoceratops. It is at 19,488, which is a far cry from the 9,744, I believe, that we originally have. So what is going on here? Well, this is the entire health pool. This is both rounds of HP stacked into one. And it's going to be a little bit unfair at the end of round 1 because you can actually do more damage than the 9744, but you're not going to get credit for it in round 2, meaning it's not really going to carry over. So let's just say that you did an attack that was 2,000 damage, but the Sinoceratops at the end of round 1 only had, say, 125 HP left. It is not going to start with a deficit in round 2. It is going to start with a full bar of health. Now here's the catch to all this. Even if you or one of your teammates knocks out the boss in round 1, it is still going to finish the entire process of battling, which means you can take damage even after technically the boss has been knocked out. Keep that in mind. That could be the difference in being knocked out or winning the raid. All of a sudden, you will see a lot happening on the screen here. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, turn 1 of 20. Up in the right-hand corner, 27. That is how much time you have to select your move. If you will notice down the left-hand side, you will see the normal chat. I will tell you there are presets for the chat. The problem is you can't target exactly who you are talking to. I highly recommend that you either join my Discord or you join the Game Press Discord and figure out a way to communicate. Maybe your alliance has a Discord, but you really need to have a way to communicate so everybody's on the same page as to what moves are being used and when. Down along the bottom of the screen are my options for moves. I only have one available on turn 1, so it's a pretty easy decision for me. There's not much discussion as to what I'm going to do on turn 1. And where things start to get a little confusing is along the right-hand side there. You will see everybody that is in this battle is listed. This is the speed order and the rank to which moves are going to be distributed. And at the same time, this is a very dynamic thing because it can change at any time. Sinoceratops actually has an instant move. If nobody else that is faster chooses an instant move, Sinoceratops will then jump all the way up to the top. The good news here is you will always know what move the boss is going to do before you have to select your move. That doesn't always play out because minions, you won't know what they're doing. Once I pick my move, you can see it populates right next to my title card, and then when your teammates pick their moves, they will populate as well. Once everybody has locked in their move, you see the arrow that shows the order of completion turns from yellow to green, and that means it is go time. I'm still priority move here, so the first thing that I'm going to do is defense shattering impact, I believe. 760 comes off, and then you see everybody moves up in order. You can see Sinoceratops did its move. We all got hit, and I don't know if you saw it because it flashed pretty quick, but above me and my teammates it said deceleration. That is because Sinoceratops used a deceleration attack to everybody. So whatever move it was that it used, it targeted all of the different opponents. And if you look on the right sidebar, you will see that deceleration is indicated by a red arrow pointing down. After that, we are just going to continue order that everybody is supposed to happen with their moves. Edmontoguanodon and then Allosaurus Gen 2 are going to finish their attacks, and it tells you what everything is resistant to as far as your opponent goes, and then you're just going to rinse, wash, and repeat. Notice now that Sinoceratops is the fastest creature. I picked a move that was an instant move, so I jumped ahead, and Sinoceratops is choosing its move as well. I did group takedown, and you can see everybody on my team gets their buff. And then from there, everything's just going to play out in the order that things were supposed to happen. You see Edmontoguanodon did a heal. Everybody on the team was healed. Now, that heal did not take effect until Edmontoguanodon, it was its turn. So if you had a creature that was about to get knocked out and you were relying, or if you had a teammate that had a creature that was about to get knocked out and you're relying on the heal, that heal is going to have to come before you receive any damage from the strike boss. I'm just going to kind of let this play out so you guys can see everything that's going on. You see all the positive attributes are going to be highlighted in green underneath the health bar. And then anytime something negative happens, you will see, wow, that was a pretty nice hit right there, right? And then you will see anytime there's a negative effect, it shows up as something red. Really easy to see. But when you first jump into the arenas, into the raid bosses, this all happens really quickly. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to get used to, but it does take some coordination. So there you see we knocked out Sinoceratops in the first round, and immediately round 2 happens. But Allosino did a ton of damage at the very end of round 1 that he's not getting credit for. Keep that in mind. If you know that you're going to knock out the boss, it's probably a good idea to maybe use a less strong of an attack and save your bigger rampages for the beginning of the next round when you have a full bar of HP that you're going to need to work through. I'm just going to kind of let this play out a little bit. You can see anytime something is resisted, and I don't know exactly what moves everybody's using here, but whenever there is something being resisted, it'll show up. It'll show the big resistance sign. Anytime something positive happens, it's reflected in a green. Crits are still gold. Anything that's a negative effect or a negative ability applied, it turns red. Here you can see I got stunned, so my turn is just kind of null and void. I'm going to miss this turn, but at the end of the day, because Fierce completely counters the resilient creatures, we're in no trouble here. I mean, we're chewing through this completely. Now, I do want to let you know, this team that we're using right here, none of these creatures have any boost allocated to them. I really feel like that pretty much everybody that has been playing for any length of time is going to have access to at least one of these creatures at level 15. And for this particular battle, you can go ahead and conserve your boost, not allocate them, because you are looking at, with a cap of 5, that's still 15 boosts. I've gone through and measured out my team, and I think I have, for a team of 8, I think I have 13, maybe 14 boosts that I can allocate if I'm only allocating them to a team of 8. you're going to want to be very smart and very strategic about how you allocate boosts, whether you're going to use something that is good, say here, or if you use it for just your arena team and hope that you can get some double duty out of some of them. As you see, I got knocked out, but at the same time, because we were playing type advantages, it's not really going to matter. And with Edmontoguanodon being able to heal, I could have been revived earlier, but the person that was using Edmontoguanodon decided to go for an attack at a different stage instead of a heal when they could have kept me alive. But we as a team had already decided that we were probably in pretty good shape and we didn't need to keep me around. So we just went for the most damage instead of reviving and then continuing to fight. But as you can see, like Allo Gen 2 is just absolutely shredding Sino here. There's me, I'm knocked out. I'm going to be knocked out for the entirety of the rest of this battle. And if you do get knocked out, it is okay. All that has to happen is your team has to knock out the boss before the boss knocks out every single one of your players. Even if your team is a team of 4 and you have 1 left with 1 HP, the entire team is going to win and claim the rewards. Now, whenever we did this, I believe this was the 3rd or 4th time that we had battled, so we're going to get a minions incubator out of it. You get 10 minion incubators, and these are going to have significantly reduced rewards from the boss incubator. There goes the big crushing blow to Sinoceratops, puts it down, you win right there, and then you see the minion incubator. The rewards here are nothing fabulous, but that's okay. It's a smaller reward. It's like, think of it like a 15-minute incubator or one of the small incubators. I got 63 Velociraptor and then 32 of the Nodosaurus. That is how you take down at least the Sinoceratops raid boss without having to use any boosts. And remember, this particular raid is limited to epic and under creatures. Use what you have. I went ahead and created a little infographic on how to counter this. I think it'll be pretty useful moving forward. If I have the opportunity, I will do more of these, but I just happen to have the opportunity that I knew ahead of time what this boss was going to be like. If you find this infographic helpful or useful, please share it so that other people will know. The best thing that you can do is have teammates that know what they're doing and are able to play to the type advantages. And having said all of this, there is more than one way to defeat the Sinoceratops boss. The one thing that I would say is that you're probably going to want a healer to be at least one of your creatures. I never tried this with 4, so if you go 4 fierce, you might be able to pull it off. You can pull it off as a duo. You have to get a little bit lucky and you have to use the exact right move combinations, but it can be done as a duo with the right team build. And as far as trying to solo this, don't even bother. You have no chance to chew through all of that HP before you get knocked out. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Go ahead, subscribe, and turn on the alert notifications. I have plenty of more videos covering Jurassic World Alive version 2.0. And as we find out more about different raid bosses, there will be guides coming out to help you guys. And remember, Sinoceratops is just the entry level. They're taking it a little bit easy on you so you get your feet wet a little bit. Remember, on Tuesday is Sinoceratops Prime, and then on Wednesday is the big daddy of them all, MREX, and I can't think of what it's called at the top, off the top of my head right now, but it's MREX, the Godzilla-looking T-Rex, the apex rarity dinosaur that really looking forward to. And then on Thursday, you're going to have Smile Enemies, and as far as I know, those are the only ones that are in place right now. My guess is those are going to adjust and shift each week with the same boss as the lead, and then maybe add minions or different restrictions each day. But I don't know that. I'm purely speculating at this point. That's all I've got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you are able to knock out this raid boss. And until next time.